Wow, I am in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, working on a show called the Lehman Trilogy at Theatre Calgary. And woo, I am not in Poland anymore. Boy, oh boy. So let me just sort of say the first few things that I've noticed that are interesting to me, maybe interesting to you. And of course, I'm from Canada, so this is not like a shocker, but it's been a while since I've really kind of spent a long time in outside of Poland. And this is my first time in Calgary, and the first thing I noticed is it's so new. Just like all the buildings are new skyscrapers. In a way, it's like hard to grasp what its history is, what its culture is, because everywhere you look, it's just kind of commerce. Um, in Poland, certainly in Krakow, where I live, everywhere you look is just history. Sometimes, in Krakow, I'm overwhelmed by the history. Here in Calgary, I'm kind of overwhelmed by how little of the history I can grasp, I can taste, I can hold on to. What is this place? What is Calgary? I'm not sure. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is that on the first day of rehearsal, the entire theater, actually there's two theaters because it's a co-production, came into the rehearsal hall and greeted us and really made everyone feel great and special and taken care of. There was so much energy put towards making everyone feel taken care of and supported. And that felt great. That was not something I was used to. It's not that people don't support you in Poland, but it's nowhere close to the level that you are supported, or you're at least being told that you're supported here. Anyways, at this theater, at Theatre Calgary, everyone was just so like, health and safety. They even so much as to say, like, if you feel uncomfortable walking home at night, we'll make sure that you get home safely. That was nice. There's also this kind of thing that has happened called not in our room, or not, I don't know. Anyways, the union. There are unions here, which is also something that's completely different than in Poland. Of course, there's unions in Poland, but they're somehow not taken seriously. Whereas here, if you're not in the union, you can't really be involved in a professional theater production. So the union has established something called not in our space. Not in our space, which is basically, a list of rules in terms of what the appropriate behavioral conduct is in rehearsal rooms, which, I think is great. I have heard some not great stories in Poland, and in Canada, it's just not acceptable. Of course, there was a time where there was a lot of inappropriate behavioral patterns in rehearsal halls, but that has changed because, there's now some really strict regulation around like what you can or cannot do, how you can or cannot behave. Uh, you know, it's a bit overkill at the beginning with the very long reading out of the rules. I don't know who decided that had to happen. Probably could have just read them myself, but I appreciate the sentiment, particularly knowing that in Canada there is this attention to details in terms of the treatment of people, whereas in Poland that attention to detail is not there. It's just kind of dependent on who the director is. If the director is kind, fortunately I work with Marcin Wierzchowski mostly in Poland, and he's incredibly kind. And so there's a lot of respect in the rehearsal rooms, but I've heard a lot of horror stories from pretty well-known directors who are not kind and, are bullies, yelling, lots of abuse, sometimes weird things with women, often weird things with women. Anyways, that's my two observations of Canada versus Poland. This hopefully it was interesting for you. It's interesting for me. Do you want more of these? Or is this too long and boring, and do you want to just like me talk about Poland and not about Canada? You tell me, what do you think? Love ya. Bye bye.